Now that we know how to find complements, we can use something called the complement rule. And sometimes it's easier to find the probability of one event by finding the probability of its complement and then subtracting from 1. So that's what this complement rule says. If you want the probability of the opposite of an event, do 1 minus the probability of the event. So for example, let's say that we toss 2 coins and we want to know what's the probability of at least one head. So well, we can do this directly, and then we can also use complements here. So let's go ahead and do it directly first. So we toss 2 coins, so we can get heads or tails on the first. If we get heads on the first, we could get heads or tails on the second. Tails on the first, we get heads or tails on the second. So our possibilities here are 2 heads, a head and then a tail and then a head, or 2 tails. So the probability of at least one head, so probability of greater than or equal to one head, well, 1, 2, 3 outcomes have at least one head out of a total of 4 outcomes. And these will be equally likely, assuming these are fair coins, and we will. So 2 fair coins. However, we could just look at the probability of the opposite event. So the probability of greater than or equal to one head is going to be the same as 1 minus the probability of the opposite event. So if you don't get at least one head, so that's 1 or 2 heads, then you had to get 0 heads. Well, probability of 0 heads, there's only one way to get 0 heads. You get 2 tails. So this is 1 minus one outcome that has 0 heads out of 4 equally likely outcomes. So 1 minus 1/4, that's also 3/4. So if you look at a probability straight out and it looks like it's kind of complicated, see if you can use complements. Here's another example. You roll 2 dice. What is the probability the sum is not equal to 2? So the probability that the sum is not equal to 2, well, we can look at the opposite event and subtract from 1. So it's 1 minus the probability that the sum does equal 2. So remember when we did our outcome of rolling 2 fair dice, we had 36 possibilities. So there were 36 possibilities here, and only one possibility, a 1 and a 1, will give you a sum of 2. So this is going to be 1 minus 1 out of 36. So that's 36 out of 36 minus 1 out of 36 is 35 out of 36. And we didn't need to count all of the possibilities that are in this event because it's easier to just look at the opposite.